Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. A few boys are back as well this week in full training. According to official sources, Saka, Tomiyasu, Martinelli, and Aaron Ramsdale are back in training. We're going to be talking about Ndicka and the total agreement on personal terms. And Mikel Arteta has revealed why Mikhail Modric is his primary target in January. He actually believes the player can play as a false nine, as a right winger, and a left winger as well. So we're going to be diving into all that. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We are at 60,000 and we should be getting at 70,000 very, very soon. This video should get to 300 likes. Now, let's start off with a few stories talking about some of the players that are actually coming back. According to official sources, Saka, Ramsdale, Martinelli, and Tomiyasu will all be back in training this week. Xhaka is already back in training, according to Mikel Arteta. And by the time we play Juventus over the weekend, it is highly likely that all of these players will actually be part of the team. Only William Saliba is out with France. They're playing today. I'm not really saying they should be knocked out, but I'm saying if they are knocked out, then our squad will be back and complete. Apart from Gabriel Jesus, who has suffered that really nasty injury in the knee area, has undergone surgery, and the expected time that he's going to be out is around 3 months. The rest of the players will be back, and the rest of the players will be training with the team as well. So we are expecting by the 26th of this month, which is our Boxing Day, Alexander Zinchenko will also be back and fully fit, and the likes of Thomas Partey, the likes of Xhaka, the likes of Saka, who have played more minutes in the World Cup, will actually have refreshed and will be a little bit better in terms of their fitness and also physical conditions as well. Now, Arsenal do have a total agreement on personal terms with Ndicka. I think when I was just back from the break, I talked about Ndicka and the agreement that we have with the player and his representatives. Now, stories are also flowing in and coming in saying Arsenal do have a total agreement with Ndicka, although there are a couple of other clubs that would actually want to sign him on a free in 2023. So the feeling with this guy, young French international, can also play for Cameroon as well, is that next year he will be signing for Arsenal. Arsenal would have loved to do this deal, by the way, in January as well. But Mikel Arteta and Edu felt like, if we have an agreement with the player on personal terms, then in the end you can get him on a free in this summer. So this is going to be our first signing of 2023. I believe this one is going to be announced in January. The likes of Romano, the likes of the Athletic will actually jump onto it in January. They will announce it as our first signing of the year, but then he will be joining us in 2023. Good deal. I don't think there is anything wrong with this one. I think we can actually do more deals in this manner. The likes of Yuri Tillemans, the likes of Marcus Thuram, the likes of Danilo, most of these deals can be completed in January, and then there is always that option, there is always that incentive. We get the player from you, but you can actually keep him until the rest of the season. So we will be seeing Ndicka in Arsenal colours come 2023, unless something changes. The tricky part with these deals and such deals is that almost all the time you are actually expecting it to change. Yes, it does have an agreement with Arsenal, total agreement on personal terms, but there's so many other clubs interested, and it's easy for another club to come in, table a better offer than Arsenal, probably a bigger club than Arsenal. I think if a club like Barcelona, if a club like Madrid, if a club like maybe PSG came in for Ndicka on a free, they can give him more money than we are actually willing to offer, and they can also give him, I think, a bigger project in terms of winning the UCL, probably at the moment, and all that. So as long as nothing changes, Arsenal's agreement with Ndicka stands. Is going to be our first signing of the 2023 23 campaign. So I think that one is just a little update on that deal. And if anything happens, I'll definitely let you know. Now, FC Barcelona are interested in signing Gabriel Martinelli. They're not the only club that have actually been scouting this guy. PSG is another club that really want to sign him. They're all monitoring the situation, the contract situation between Arsenal and Gabriel Martinelli. But I've already said this. There is only one cure to all these rumors. There is only one cure to all this interest. Give these young boys long-term deals until 2029. I mean, it's as simple as that. I don't think we're going to include release clauses in their contracts, just like it's done in the La Liga. But if there was a clause, if there was an option where we can put release clauses in their contracts, I think we should have done that. But you look at what other clubs have done with their young talents. You look at what Barca have done with Gavi, Fati, and Pedri. They have put big and huge release clauses in their contracts, and they have extended their contracts until like 10 years to come. It's the same thing with what Real Madrid have done with the likes of Vinicius Jr., Eder Militao, and all these young talents, because I think right now that there is nothing on demand than a young talent on the European market. There is nothing more on demand. It's not tomatoes. It is not McDonald's. It's nothing. I think if you have a young player right now, and he's valued at around probably 50, 60, 70, or even 100 million euros, you need to hold them tight, because right now teams are really going crazy in the market. So with Gabriel Martinelli, I really appreciate the compliments from PSG, the compliments from Barcelona, from the compliments from all these sides. It just shows that we have really done a very good job with Martin. But that should not be the end point. The end point is we want to keep him. We want to have him for the next 5, 10 years, and the only way we can do that is actually trigger the extension and give him a long-term contract. The good thing with Martinelli, I've already said this, Martinelli wants to stay with Arsenal. Martinelli wants to be a part of this project, a part of Mikel Arteta's project, and I don't expect him to be going away anytime soon. It's the same thing with Bukayo Saka. It's something with players like William Saliba. I do expect them to commit their future to Arsenal Football Club, because we've been loyal to them and they should be loyal to us in return. I think these are players that really owe something to Arsenal. Martinelli owes his future, owes his present, and owes his success at this stage to Arsenal. To an extent, he actually got a call-up for the Brazilian team at this time. I think it's one of the hardest achievements someone can get. A player can get. If you get a call-up with this Brazilian side, with all the talent they have, there's so many players like Gabigol that were actually not called, and Gabriel Martinelli got the slot. So I think they owe. They really owe something big to Arsenal. Saka as well owes something very big to Arsenal, and I believe they will stay, and I believe they will commit. Now, my problem with Barcelona coming in for Martinelli is that I think many Brazilian players want to play for two teams in the end. It's either Real Madrid or FC Barcelona, and that is what actually scares the hell out of me. But apart from that, I think Martinelli is committed. He wants to stay at Arsenal. He loves the project, and he really loves the club. I think he's got Arsenal injected in his DNA. I think he's more committed to staying at Arsenal than Saka is. Don't get me wrong. I could be wrong about this, right? I could be wrong about this, but I believe he's more committed to staying at Arsenal than Bukayo Saka is, because with the Bukayo Saka's representatives, we're hearing stories of them talking to Liverpool, of them thinking about Liverpool. With Gabriel Martinelli, you're not even hearing such stories. So Barcelona wants him, PSG wants him. I believe he will stay. And mark my words, Arsenal should get this guy a 20-year contract and give him 150k per week. He's going to be a very influential guy at Arsenal. Look, I've not seen so many exciting talents in the last few years playing Arsenal. You think about Jack Wilshere, he was a mental talent, wasn't he? You think about probably Aaron Jacob Ramsey, he was a mental talent. But then you really think about Martinelli and you're like, well, these guys as really good as Gabriel Martinelli. Probably Jack Wilshere was, but Martinelli is from another planet. So I would love Arsenal to keep him. Now, Mikel Arteta actually wants to change or wants to transform Mykhailo Mudryk into a more versatile player on the forward line, not just a winger. And that's the reason as to why he actually wants to sign him as a priority target in January. So we have all had the conversations about Joao Felix. We have all had the conversations about a new number 9 in January. And the reasoning behind that is that many pundits and many fans, including me, feel the absence of Gabriel Jesus cannot be filled by signing Mykhailo Mudryk. However, Mikel Arteta has very, very different thoughts for Mykhailo Mudryk. He thinks that the player can play as a false 9 as well, and can also play across very, very different across very, very different positions. Now, this is Ben Jacobs speaking to Give Me Sport, and he said Arteta feels that he can be developed into a more versatile player. He's lightning quick, good, got a good eye for goal, and starts on the left-hand side and cuts inside. So that is one of the reasons as to why Mikel actually wants him, and he believes if he signed Mykhailo Mudryk, he can actually transform him into a more versatile player. Now, I've seen him play, but I don't want to say I've seen him play for all his life. I've not even seen him play for Real, right? What I've seen in him is a more of a Jack Grealish kind of player. And Shakhtar, when they value him, when they look at him, they look at him as Jack Grealish, the next Jack Grealish on the European scene, right? Can he play as a false 9? I'm quite skeptical. I don't know what Mikel has seen in him, but I'm quite skeptical. I don't see that kind of patience. I don't see that kind of, I don't see the requirements of a false 9 or as of a number 9 in Mykhailo Mudryk. What I see is that you can play him where Saka plays on the right as inverted. You can also play him as a normal natural winger on the left-hand side like we do with Gabriel Martinelli, right? But playing as a false 9, I guess we'll have to wait and see what Mikel thinks about that. I think actually Martinelli is more suited to play as a number 9 than Mykhailo Mudryk. But of course, Mikel is the manager. He knows what exactly he's doing. And I really, really want to see how things go between him and Mykhailo Mudryk when he actually signs him in January. We have actually a lot of belief and we have a lot of determination to get this deal done. So chances are it will get over the line. Gabriel Magalhaes has again reaffirmed his willingness to stay at Arsenal. And he has said, at the moment, I'm not thinking about any other thing. I'm not thinking about any other club. I want to stay at Arsenal. They're a club that really welcomed me to the UK. The fans welcomed me very, very well, and I'm really, really loved here. So I want to stay here, and I want to win big things. There are really big ambitions at this club, and this is the right place for me to stay. So look, I think Juve wanted him. I don't think Juve really can now sign him. They will be very, very cautious when it comes to financial fair play rules. I will do a video explaining Arsenal's safety on the financial fair play side. I'll do that video. I'll make my research and I'll do that video, right? So the other clubs that actually wanted him, I think, were Barcelona. But back after signing Jules Koundé, I highly think they will not sign Gabriel Magalhaes. So I think Magalhaes can actually be a long-term centre-back for Arsenal, like 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. There will be some interest in the end, probably from PSG, probably from these clubs that don't know how to groom a good centre-back. But I believe with Edu still in charge, with all this Brazilian influence coming in at the club, we are actually going to keep all these Brazilian talents in place. So I'm not really scared about any other clubs interested in signing Gabriel Magalhães. And lastly, Emmanuel Petit, one of those really historics in the game of football, has actually said Christian Pulisic would be a very good fit for Arsenal. Like, okay, his reasons are valid, because he says he loves to have a goal at goal. And then he's one player that really is very smooth when it comes to his playing to his playing style, and it would suit Mikel Arteta's playing style as well. Now, I've told you I love Christian Pulisic. I rate him a lot as a player, and if there was an opportunity for Arsenal to sign him, I wouldn't really turn it down. But my problem is signing flops from Chelsea. Come on, guys. We've got to stop doing that. We can't keep on signing flops from Chelsea all the time. Like, we need to stop it. What do you think? Christian Pulisic to Arsenal? Can it work? And can Mikhailo Modric also play as a number 9 as we wait for Gabriel Jesus to come back in the next 3 months? Your thoughts in the comment box. Love you so much. I'll speak to you soon.